All right, let's try this again. It's a little bit better, but it's not great. It's like something's covering my mouth. But whatever. As long as you can hear me, we're good. So I'm gonna have you look at professional football in a way that you're gonna completely question the whole element of professional football. So, hey Detroit, hey 6079 Smith, I'll read your codes later. Hey Ahmed. So I'm going to focus on professional football here, not any other codes really, because we know professional football is the most watched, played sport on the planet. Okay? The most watched, played sport on the planet. Premier League, the greatest league in the world, they call it. And the FA Cup, they always talk about the magic of the FA Cup, which justifies these giant killings, which should never happen. In reality, if these Premier League clubs have all this money and the best players in the world, okay, Spurs shouldn't be losing to Sheffield United. Simple as that. And there shouldn't be these major upsets. Spurs have recently beat West Ham United in the Premier League and Chelsea, both 2-0. And then they lose 1-0 to Sheffield United, who had to go through a replay. I had to go late in the game versus Wrexham. Like, are you kidding me? How does that happen? Because it's all coded, guys. You had a replay where literally Sheffield United drew 3-3 with Wrexham, guys, who are owned by Ryan Reynolds in some biblical ritual, which I've talked about. And then Sheffield United beat them in the second leg, but they scored goals in the 94th minute and the 96th minute. So Billy Sharp, by the way, who is still playing, all right, at this level, Billy Sharp, it wasn't that long ago where his child died. Okay? And I did a code with that. I won't go deep into it because it offends people. I remember when his child died and the whole numbers behind it. He was playing at Southampton. And his child died in 2011. And Sheffield United just stayed on 2011 all-time losses. And Billy Sharp was leading the line. Billy Sharp, 2011 was also the year that Osama bin Laden died. And wait until you hear my Arsenal code. If you didn't think World War III was around the corner, you will after this. This Arsenal code, which connects to World War III, which connects to 9/11, is going to make you go, wow. I've told you along this journey, you'll win a lot of money, you might lose money, whatever at this point when it comes to that. Okay? Wait till you hear this Arsenal code. West Ham keeper didn't even attempt to save United's second. Tad frustrated with that United game. I did a post in play. As soon as Spurs conceded, I went on my laptop and I typed Man United to qualify minus 188. I would get on that because Spurs just conceded. 1 minute after my live play, you could say it's genius or unfortunate or whatever it is. Garnacho scored. The guy who's just bleached his hair blonde. Number 49, 4 plus 9 is 13. Today's date's 1-3. All right. He's got all the revelation numbers. As Garnacho, his idol's Ronaldo, CR7. The square root of 49, his jersey number, is 7. Garnacho got United's last goal before the World Cup began. I told you he's bleached his hair. Right, minute, either 1 or 2 minutes after I said get on United to qualify, because Chuck has done an amazing code on them as well. They scored. They scored right after. So I'm almost certain nobody was able to capitalize on it. But I'll break down the Arsenal game, then I'll break down the Sheffield United game, and Liverpool winning wasn't a massive shock. I didn't really look into that game. So the story here for me is Arsenal. So if you're new to my work, just do your best to not come here and say, well, Arsenal are top of the league. Of course, they're going to beat Everton. Well, they didn't beat Everton 25 days ago. So listen to this. In Sean Dyche's first game for Everton, remember they beat Arsenal 1-0. Burnley, where Dyche coached for 10 years, just beat Fleetwood 1-0 in the last minute. So Burnley, who are flying in the Championship, won in the last minute. And it said pandemonium at Turf Moor. Pandemonium is the capital city of hell. Okay? I've got loads of numbers with Vincent Kompany connected to the Church of Satan. He's the head coach of Burnley. He was the captain under Guardiola. Arteta was Guardiola's assistant. Xavi replaced Guardiola in that central midfield spot. Look at them all. Top of the league. Top of the league. Kompany's top of the Championship. Xavi's top of La Liga, like I said he would be. Arteta's top of the Premier League. Posted a code 2 or 3 weeks ago. Plus 120 or something. Arsenal's riddle for the league at this point is just outstanding. The war theme, the red theme, which we've now come across, the Queen Elizabeth theme, which I saw at the beginning of the season, but Man City also had that. But the war stuff, the red stuff, whoever wins this FA Cup, it's going to be a red jersey, it looks like now. Just like the FA Cup, the League Cup, sorry. Could be United again. It's comical. So let me get into this. Well, it's not comical. It's actually pretty intense. With a win, Arsenal can advance to 60 points on the 60th day of the year. That is nowhere near good enough, but I saw it straight away. I was like, are they going to do that? No, that's not enough. Keep going. They can become 1933 in the league, and Hitler became the Chancellor of Germany in 1933, and Arteta can stay on 19 draws and 33 losses in the Premier League. And I said in parentheses, if this happens, then it further indicates World War III is approaching. Guys, I'll repeat that again. Remember, was it Sunday I told you PSG would win against Marseille to become 1933? Well, Arsenal just did. All right, Arsenal have got that record, but what makes it even crazier is that Arteta, the Arsenal coach, stayed on 19 Premier League draws and 33 losses as his team becomes 1933, and Hitler became the Chancellor of Germany in 1933. Paris Saint-Germain just became 1933. Mikel Arteta played for Paris Saint-Germain. He played for them. I'm going to post a code later today or tomorrow, guys. I am very confident, and doesn't mean I'm going to be right. I'm very confident. I think I've got who's winning the Premier League, the Dutch League, and La Liga. And if I'm right with all three of them, I don't want to necessarily promote gambling, but it's plus 490. Something that I came across earlier in the season. I'm going to post that either later today or tomorrow. Because it's wild with what's just happened today. Again, when you're coding all of this, things can change throughout the season. Okay? You've got to try and be on top of it and just hope by the end of the year, you get the majority of them right. That's how I see it, because a lot can change. You know what I mean? You might think this team's winning the league, winning the Super Bowl, and then boom, something enormous happens. You find the red theme. You see the Chiefs are now connected to Arsenal, which you would never have known if the Chiefs didn't win the Super Bowl. And then Rihanna comes into it, who syncs up with Arsenal and the Chiefs. So Arteta can get his 68th Premier League win, and all world wars began on 68 date emoji pure. Arsenal have been connected with war all season. Nearly every Arsenal game I've coded, I've got right because of that. And their name's Arsenal. And their nickname's the Gunners. And Arsenal, in regards to war, is connected to the place where arms and ammunition are made. And then gunners connects to your guns. And obviously in wars, people have guns, they're shooting each other. So off the charts, Arteta can get his 317th point as head coach with a win. 317 is the 66th prime. And the game's 66 days before Charles is coronated. The royal family, I've told you, are heavily synced up with Arsenal. They're the only club to ever go to the Buckingham Palace and sit down with the Queen and have tea. That was the Invincibles. Charles equals 66 in Gematria, as does Number of the Beast. The player who's got the most Number of the Beast connections at Arsenal is Saka, which I've shown you a million times. It's Saka. And he opened the scoring, guys. And I'll get to why later. The reason why Saka missed that penalty for England, I'll get to that as well. This is crazy stuff. Arsenal can stay on 3 draws and 6 losses in all competitions. 6 times 6 equals 36. Everton will drop to 147 away in the league this season. And Charles's father, Philip, died on 4-9, and his mother, Elizabeth, died on 9-8. And when you combine 49 and 98, you get 147. Everton could get relegated, guys. They haven't been relegated in 119 seasons. Everton could go down. I'm going to check the odds because Everton might go down. Man City play Burnley next round, Flinny. So it's Guardiola against Company. What a storyline, eh? Are you kidding? Are you joking? It's Guardiola against Company. Company's first season with Burnley, and he draws Guardiola in the FA Cup in the 6th round. Nah, that's comical. Truly comical. By the way, later on as well, I'm going to post the Man United code for the FA Cup if Chuck lets me. His code's phenomenal. I found some extra stuff. Tottenham had an amazing riddle for this FA Cup. They're gone. Seems like Harry Kane just will never win a trophy. Oh, my name's Harry Kane, and I've scored a lot of goals in my career, but I was never able to get that trophy, was I? But I'm so proud to say that I'm England's leading goal scorer of all time and Tottenham's leading goal scorer of all time. But it would have been nice if we come away with a few trophies, but it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, I had a great career, and that's all I'm going to say about that one. So, yeah, looks like Harry Kane ain't winning a trophy at this point. Do you like John Fury? Adam is a lad. The whole Fury family seem pretty funny. There's no doubt about it, but I don't give them my energy, to be honest with you. Let me continue with this. This is outrageous. Arteta can get his 98th win, and Queen Elizabeth died on 9-8. Arsenal can get their 110th win versus Everton. The World Trade Center had 110 floors. 19 militant terrorists were supposedly behind 9/11. Arsenal can get their 19th season win. It said at half-time how Everton have not scored in the first half in 19 of their 25 Premier League games. They had to throw in that 19, which told you it was pretty much game over at 1-0. So, what else is there here? Today leaves 305 days left in the year. Bin Laden died in 2011, the 305th prime. So going back to Sheffield United, they stayed on 2011 all-time losses. 2011, the 305th prime, and they did that with 305 days left in the year. Someone in my community, they decided they did 1-0 Sheffield United. I don't know if anyone took Spurs minus 300 to qualify. But sometimes it's just one major find. So all these 9/11 war rituals, 2011 is Bin Laden, by the way. Bin Laden died in 2011 on David Beckham's 36th birthday, who spent his youth at Spurs before going to Man United. You see how deep this is? And then Arsenal stayed on 3 draws and 6 losses in all competitions this season. Yeah, these fixtures are so fixed, but not by man. Read this code out and tell me if man's doing this every day. Listen to this. So I gave you all the 9/11 stuff. So planes were responsible, it was CGI, planes were responsible for bringing down the World Trade Center, 9/11/2001. All right? And where was this game played today, guys? Where was it played? The Emirates Stadium. The stadium is named after an airline. Okay? Emirates. Fly Emirates. Okay? Sean Dyche, the head coach of Everton, I've shown numerous times as well with him when I used to code him in Burnley games that he connects to 9/11. That he connects to 9/11. And I'll tell you why he connects to 9/11 here. Sean Dyche was born on a day leaving 186 days left in the year. And 9/11 occurred 18 years and 6 months before coronavirus was declared a global pandemic. This game was 119 days before his birthday, and a date which is 9/11, 11th of September. So what happens, guys? What happens with that? All the 186s that connect to 9/11, who was the star man for Arsenal? Somebody tell me. Who was Arsenal's star player today? I want you to check this on your computer to back it up. Who was Arsenal's star player today? Who scored 2 goals for them? Who scored 2 goals for Arsenal today? I'm going to show you how deep this is, that it's so biblical, which is where I approach my work now, is the biblical aspect of it. Go watch my Martinelli. Thank you, Noah. Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel like the Archangel. They've got Gabriel the centre half, Gabriel Jesus. But it was Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli was born on the 18th of June, 1806. This riddle was all about 9/11. Okay? Heavily connected to 9/11 and World War III. Because of the connections with World War I and II. He was born 1806. I told you, go back, watch the first video of the Premier League season that I did. When Arsenal beat Crystal Palace, Palace connects to the Queen. Gabriel Martinelli, born 1806, got the opening goal of this season's Premier League season. They're going to get crowned the champions of Arsenal, in my opinion. Okay? And the coronavirus rituals, Mikel Arteta, the first Premier League coach, to supposedly test positive for coronavirus. And he was born the 26th of March, 263, the 56 prime. And coronavirus equals 56 in Gematria, as does COVID vaccine. England got put into its second lockdown on November the 5th, a day leaving 56 days left in the year. And Boris Johnson had a 56-page document. Arsenal FC equals 56. It looks like it's going to be Arsenal. And they're still maybe plus money. I posted it 2 weeks ago, was it? And they've won a couple of games since. Potential banana skins, they were calling them. But now this next bit's going to blow your mind, I think. I think this next bit's going to make you go, what? All right. The teams last met at the Emirates on a day leaving 223 days left in the year. And Arteta can pick up his 223rd point with a win. He did. 223 is the 48th prime. In Gematria, Illuminati equals 48. When they last met at the Emirates, Arsenal beat them 5-1. The Illuminati were founded 5-1. Arsenal can get their 25th season win in all competitions. Listen to this bit. Arsenal can get their 25th season win in all competitions. This is both teams' 25th game in the league this season. Queen Elizabeth became the Queen at age 25. She supported Arsenal just like her mother. She died in the 97th year of her life, and the teams last met at the Emirates 9 months and 7 days ago. 25th prime. 97 is the 25th prime. Everton beat Arsenal 1-0 25 days before this game, and this game is 25 days before Arsenal coach's birthday. Charles will be coronated in 2 months and 5 days. Now, let me tell you why the 25 connects to Saka. I'm very tired today, guys. I'm still going to go for a swim after this. Let me tell you why 25 connects to Saka, which I've written about in my book, which I've done multiple videos about. England lost the Euro 2020 final to Italy, yeah? It was 1-1, and then they lost 3-2 on penalties. We know the 3 black players missed for England during the whole Black Lives Matter ritual. You had your Rashford, Sancho, and Saka miss. But what's important with Saka is how he connects to 25. So first of all, the fourth beast of Revelation, which is death, has permission from God to take out 25% of the earth. Right? That's your huge 25 right there. Saka was wearing number 25 when he missed that decisive penalty against Italy. He should never have been taking the penalty. A 19-year-old, wasn't really proven, wasn't taking penalties for his club like he is now, which makes no sense. He missed, wearing number 25, which meant that England scored 2 out of 5 penalties in that final, like 25. Vatican equals 25. Of course, Italy win. Where's the Vatican? In Italy. What was the first game of Euro 2020? Italy against Turkey. Italy won. We've just had the earthquake in Turkey, because this is biblical. Italy scored the first goal of Euro 2020 after 53 minutes. And then they won the Euros for the first time in 53 years. And the 3 black players that missed for England in the penalty shootout, their jersey numbers combined to 53. 11, 17, 25 gets you 53. Right? So Saka opened the scoring. Of course he did. He was born in 2001. Guys, he was born 6 days before 9/11, 2001. 6. Saka connects heavily to 42. All right, the beast reigns for 42 months. Look at the players that missed those penalties for England. Look at their jersey numbers at club level. Rashford, number 10, told you all he'd be one of the best players in the league this season before it began. I even had people telling me he probably won't even make the starting 11. He didn't do anything really last season. I was like, just watch. Number 10. Sancho, of course. Number 25. Number 25, Sancho, that gets you 35. Now, shall we add Saka's jersey number at club level? 7. Now, what's 10 plus 25 plus 7? It's 42. 4 plus 2 is 6. Saka born 6 days before 9/11. All right? I might be crushing a lot of people here because the codes that I'm doing at this point is a gift from God. Again, go watch the NBA code that I did last night, where I called the script, and I've done it over 200 times at this point. I'm not coding who's going to win a game. I'm coding the script most of the time. Not all of the time. I'm not going to get everything right. I don't want to get everything right. And then you have Martinelli. 2 goals, born 18/6, all in my code. Sean Dyche, born 186 days left in the year. 9/11, 18 years and 6 months before coronavirus was declared a global pandemic. Today is exactly 1130 days after Kobe died, 113. Coronavirus declared a global pandemic on 11/3, 113. Kobe drafted round 1, pick 13, 113. NBA debut November the 3rd, 113. I did a post, and you might say, oh, it's so blatant. They made it 4-0 after 80 minutes, and I said it's going to stay 4-0. No, I think it's going to stay 4-0. First of all, Jesus fasted 40 days and 40 nights, but more importantly, Arsenal's goal difference now is plus 33. Coronavirus declared a global pandemic, 11/3, 11 times 3 is 33. And they stayed on 3 draws and 3 losses in the league. Just, they got their 56th goal. War equals 56. World War equals 56. Arsenal FC 56. Guardiola born, no, Arteta born 26-3, 56 prime. So again, I looked at the odds with like 10 minutes plus added time. I think you could, for 4-0, it was like, what was it? Minus 239 or something for there not to be another goal scored. So many ways if you are going to be one of the people that bets how you can win crazy amounts of money if you do. But that ain't why I do what I do, and I've made that super clear at this point. But again, let's go back to Sheffield United. They stayed on 2011 all-time losses. Billy Sharp, his kid, Louis Jacob Sharp, Jacob's very important with the Bible, died in 2011. And Billy Sharp scored, saying, "That's for you, son." And he did that celebration like Jesus on the cross. And he was playing at Southampton at the time, which is the Saints. Which leads me, again, 2011 losses, 2011, the 305th prime. And today leaves 305 days left in the year. That 1-0, that Satan scoreline. All right. Tottenham were talking about how they really wanted to win the FA Cup this year. Why are you starting your star player on the bench then? How is Tottenham looking to qualify for the Champions League getting beat by Sheffield United? People don't want to. All right, let's look at the draw, eh? Sheffield United, Blackburn. That means you're going to have a championship team in the semi-final. Sheffield United, Blackburn, all right? What else do we have? Brighton versus Grimsby. My mate Flinney thinks Brighton could win the FA Cup. Or at least get there. Against Man United. That means somebody's got to knock out Man City. Man United have Fulham, which is interesting because Garnacho scored that winning goal against Fulham in Man United's last game before the World Cup began. And now he just got that goal late today against West Ham. And now they're playing Fulham. Just, why is there always so many late goals, guys? Burnley, Man United get 2 goals in, 5 or 6 minutes, whatever it was? So, Dice the Ginger Mourinho, that's what they often call him. Like, when you looked at Burnley's squad, when they were staying up year after year, and they all said it's because Dyche is such a great coach. What? How naive do you want to be? I remember even before my waiting, I said, how are Burnley staying up every season? How? Look at their squad. I kept saying it's championship at best. It's not even a great championship squad. And they kept shocking teams and beating them 1-0. Like Mourinho loves that 1-0. They never had a good squad, Burnley. And you can't say one guy, like Ten Hag, when I told you he'd all become United's coach, 40-1. Do you think one bald Dutch guy he's done well with Ajax in the Dutch league, can come to England, the best league in the world, take them to the League Cup final, have them compete for the Premier League, have them just knock out Barcelona in the Europa League, have them go far in the FA Cup? One guy is that gifted to do that. Should it not really literally be about the players, guys? Yeah, Man United made it 3-1 on 3-1. Of course, one of these games was going to be 3-1, but yeah, 3-1 on 3-1. I often tell you that when a team wins 3-1, the game was 1-1 at one point, which it was, because 31's the 11th prime number. So they win 3-1 after the game was 1-1. And the odds were screaming Man United as soon as they went down. I probably should have posted my thing earlier. they still had like the same odds as West Ham to qualify when they were 1-0 down with what, 30 odd minutes left. Hey Johnny, how you doing? Yeah, the Tuchel Conte fight, when you say scripted, it's just playing out the way it's supposed to play out, I feel. Like Mourinho got sent off yesterday or whatever it was after 47 minutes and stayed on 47 wins with Roma. 2 months and 11 days after the Pope's birthday, the 47th prime. I just can't believe for a second that he was told to do that. And if he was, there has to be magic involved. That's why you always hear that these players have a great spell or spell of possession. Terms like that. So to think that they're all planning this like it's one huge movie day in, day out, when a lot of these games are not televised in many sports, there's no way. Mr. Man, can you stop talking about John Terry with 2 male names? You always bring him up. John Terry, 2 male names. Ashley Cole, 2 male names. Steven Gerrard, 2 male names. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 3 male names. I recently did a post about Anthony Joshua. All right. If you like John Terry, mate, you like him. I don't know why you have to preach that he looks happy on his yacht on Instagram. Like that means anything. A lot of these celebrities portray themselves as nice, cool people. And who knows, maybe they are. I doubt it. I think they're possessed and they might not be aware of it. But constantly telling me how nice John Terry is, I don't know why you're so fascinated by a guy you've never even spoken to. Dyche manages 263rd Premier League game. Oh my goodness. Well, that's another aspect to the code. It's amazing. So this guy can clearly code. And Everton stayed on 5 wins and 6 draws, like 56. Like, this has been done since the beginning of time of professional sports for these records to be as perfect as they are. All right. It's wild. I've told you there might be people that say, well, I coded Arsenal to win 60th point on 60th day of the year, and they think that's it. It's way deeper. If it was that easy, oh my goodness, think how easy it would be if it was just about that. Adam, could you research Levi Davies? He was in the X Factor, then went missing and put a video that he was in danger. I could, but I don't know if I want to. It seems a bit like pre-planned, all of that. Put a video out, I'm in danger, and then you disappear. What am I going to prove by coding that guy? To be honest. And a lot of people, if it's that little skinny guy who was talking about Freemasonry, he was a Freemason. It was blatant. I think, did he admit it? Obviously he did. He had a lot of knowledge of them. Again, coding him, what's it going to do? I'll leave that for other people to do. Waste their energy coding people that don't really make a difference. What was his message? Was it the guy calling out Freemasonry and secret societies and that everything's like a cult and fixed? Well, if you win a show like that, then you're one of them. If you win the X Factor or American Idol or The Voice, you're on Team Satan. It's blatant. To me. Your knowledge and finds are great. Hats off to you, Adam. I appreciate you, Troy. Yeah, it is at this point. It is getting to that point of like being, if we want to use the term, awesome. But I just want people to just, you can't keep reading lines like about Tottenham, that inconsistency cost them dear. All right, lots of questions for Tottenham to answer. And then next game, I don't even know who they're playing. They could end up winning 7-0. And nobody's going to go back and go, wait, didn't they just get beat by Sheffield United? Let me look where they are in the league. I'm sure Sheffield United are doing all right. They always seem to do all right. Where are they? in the championship. The second. With a 1977 record. Oh my God, that's when Brady was born. 1977. That's hilarious. So Burnley, Sheffield United, top 2 in the championship, or in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup. Blackburn are 4th in the championship, quarterfinal of the FA Cup. And then you have Grimsby. I need to look where they are in League 2. I played against Grimsby when I was younger, and I'll never, ever, ever forget that I hit the crossbar from 1 yard and got destroyed all the way back on the coach journey. The guy cut it back. It was this Spanish guy that used to play at Atletico Bilbao called Craig. It doesn't sound very Spanish, but he had this blonde hair, left winger. He cut it back, and the keeper pounded up, and I came charging in at the back stick. I volleyed it as hard as I could. Don't know why. I hit the crossbar. It was harder to miss. I think we drew the game, and it was late, so they hammered me all the way on the bus journey back. I don't know how I missed that. I think I was like kind of unexpected that it touched him, and then I had to maneuver my foot. It was slightly behind me. I volleyed it. Still should have scored. That was against Grimsby. I remember it stunk. Grimsby stunk of fish. Ooh, stunk. So how are Grimsby Town in the quarterfinal? They're 1 game away from Wembley. Where are they? They're 16th in League 2. They're 16th in League 2. And they just beat a Premier League team. Yeah, but ads. Illusion, mate. It's Southampton, innit? They're struggling. Probably low on confidence. What? What did you say? Yeah, well, I think Saints are low on confidence. Wait. They're playing against Grimsby towards the bottom of League 2? And you're going to justify them getting beat? Yeah, well, Grimsby did get 2 penalties, so every dog has its day, Illusion. What? Say that again. Every dog has its day, innit? Mate, are you bantering me here? You got Grimsby Town 16th in League 2, all right, where they get paid, 500 quid a week if they're lucky. Playing against Southampton, who are full of international stars, playing in the best league in the world, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to accept that? Do you want to know why Grimsby won? Woo! Do you want to know why Grimsby won? I'll tell you why Grimsby won. The guy who's speaking to me in Spanish, I don't have the patience right now. You understand me, but you got something to ask me. Can you translate it? Again, with Nicola Bully, I don't want to get involved with people like Nicola Bully. I think there's certain people or certain topics where they just want you discussing it. So when I get loads of people asking me to look into this Nicola Bully, now I say no, I'm not interested. So I think there's certain stuff put out there to distract you. Madeleine McCann, still talking about that person. When did she go missing? Still talking about her. I ain't doing that anymore. Even lack of confidence team will beat them 10-0. Let's just... This sounds silly, and you probably say you can't compare. All right? You probably say you can't compare with this. So, if you're playing... I remember like at school, just playing in recess, all right? If you put the best players, hey Lady Hawk, if you just put the best players in that school against everyone else, they're going to murder them every time. Southampton should be beating Grimsby 10 games out of 10 and comfortably. And they were at home, weren't they? Not that it makes a difference, but it does to the average football fan. Southampton should be murdering Grimsby. Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2. It was a Premier League team getting beat by Grimsby, and it's so easy to get wrapped up on it and the show and the drama because human beings love drama. They see an underdog win and they believe they can win in life. Maybe I'll have my underdog moment. 99% of the time, they never do. So they live through other people. Why do you think people loved the Rocky movies so much? Adrian! Adrian! Yeah, married to Adrian, a bloke's name, Rocky. I've seen your female gate. Adrian, I've seen it. All right, I've seen it. So people love Rocky Balboa and the underdog story, and it is what it is. So Jesus was an underdog. I agree with that. But was he really truly an underdog when he's God? Jesus is God to me. I get what you're saying, though. He was obviously judged and looked down upon and criticized and ridiculed and everything imaginable. But was he truly an underdog when he's God? If you get what I'm saying. Anthony has blonde hair and now playing amazing. Yeah, Garnacho. They all do it. Aguero, when he did his hair blonde, they started just getting even better. Messi did his hair blonde. There's a load of them. Yeah, I think it's for the best you stay away, to be honest, Adam. You tried it, and it's all about longevity. And if you don't have that longevity, you shouldn't be doing it. I've said this to people. So much love to you, brother. So I did my biblical video. I enjoyed doing it. Maybe the music is a bit too loud, but I put the actual verses in the comments. So whilst you're listening, you can actually read the words and then you can actually comprehend what I'm saying. I didn't realize it was so loud, but I can still hear it very clearly. It all depends on your ability to hear. Is Mexico a real dangerous place? Where I live, no. Certain aspects of Mexico, yes. Just like certain aspects of England or the US or Chile or Uruguay or Italy or France or Germany, woo, or Romania or Latvia or Croatia. Of course, there's dangerous elements to every nation. In general, I've been here since 2014. Nothing's ever happened to me. I've never felt unsafe. And I've been to over 10 different states of Mexico. I've been to Mexico City, Guadalajara, Baja California. Been to, oh no, I can't think of them all off the top of my head now. Monterrey, Puebla, Cancun. I'm going to Los Mochis soon. Where else have I been? There's a load of them. Nothing's ever happened to me. Never felt unsafe. So you're judging it from a movie, probably, or the news, or maybe what somebody's told you. Like, when it comes to Mexico, let me know if anyone's ever said it's dangerous who's actually been there, where they said, this happened to me. I bet you won't find one person. Garnacho will start scoring goals, yep. They don't question it. And what they've done with this, like, remember when Beckham did his hair blonde and then he just became like this massive icon? He went to Real Madrid with that blonde hair, didn't he? Justin Bieber recently did his hair blonde. We know all about Eminem, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West. I don't know exactly what that is. I think it's some sort of mind control, or they've gone to the next level of Satanism. Or they're being marked. Maybe they're being marked. Maybe that's their mark by the beast. They mark them with the blonde hair. You work for me now. And they don't often keep it, do they? It's over a short period of time, and then they go back to their natural hair. So that Garnacho, his blonde hair looks horrific. Like, I can't say much. My hair right now is shocking, but blonde hair looks horrific. It's not like they're getting it done and they look good. Nearly all of them look worse for having it. Aguero looked ridiculous with that blonde hair. So I don't know exactly what it is. How do you transfer $10 to access my site? And Isaac, you don't need. Isaac, habla inglés o solo español? Isaac. No necesito PayPal, solo necesito una tarjeta débito o crédito, nada más. Es $10 por el mes. Es su decisión, quiero cancelar. You don't need PayPal to sign up to my website. You just need to necesito toca la PayPal, pero no necesito una cuenta de PayPal. Okay? I think Bear Grylls may be a genuine lad. He's got a heart of gold. He might be. I doubt it. Again, with Bear Grylls, I don't care about Bear Grylls. Did he have his own successful show? Then I don't know if I necessarily trust him. What was his ultimate message? I didn't watch Bear Grylls. What did he go out to the woods and show you how to survive or whatever in the woods? I don't know. I'm just trying to get over what just went on today in these games. To be honest with you. Trying to get over it. Saka was 21 years old, wasn't he, in 2022? And Everton just stayed on 21 points. They could go down, guys. I'm telling you, Everton could go down. They're 18th now. Got Bournemouth, Southampton, 19th and 20th. And then you've got a lot of clubs around Everton. Leeds, West Ham, Wolves, Leicester, Forest. And then maybe all the way up into Palace. Everton could go down. I'll keep an eye on their games. So, look at this. Trying to look at Man City's next game. Oh, they've got Newcastle. I'll definitely look into that. I'll look into that bad boy. But that'll be interesting. Of course, City 5 points behind now. How many games? We've got 13 games left. Interesting stuff. Arsenal should win the next game from what I've seen. 2-3-3 is huge. They could go 20-33. 2-3-3 is the 51st prime. They're being connected to 51 all season. So whoever they're playing next to Arsenal, they'll probably beat. Just straight off. I think my live yesterday, I told you to keep an eye on Arsenal to win, didn't I? All right. Do you know Pizzagate? Again, I don't get into Pizzagate and stuff anymore. I did all of that at the beginning of my awakening. When you hear about Pizzagate and there's all these elites and they're all doing you know what to children. There's a lot of distraction in the world. I'm not saying it's not happening, but if Pizzagate was a legit thing, you wouldn't have heard of Pizzagate. All right, and the whole thing with hot dogs and pizza and what can I do with that? How can I code that? How can I prove that? The stuff that I do, I present biblical scripture. I present date durations. If you want me to code Pizzagate, what's the end goal? What am I supposed to find? If it happened or not? Who's behind it? How many victims? Like, I don't want to get involved in QAnon bullshit. I can sense bullshit. I ain't saying that these A-listers are not doing satanic rituals and abusing people. Of course they are, and they probably got abused themselves. That seems to be how it probably is. They get abused, and then they abuse others. It's that vicious cycle, unfortunately. Man City, Bayern, Champions League final. Gundogan has lots of connections in Istanbul. He does, yeah. Yeah, that would be a final that everyone would be excited for. And Guardiola used to coach for Bayern Munich in Bavaria. Potentially. See, Bayern have to get past PSG, don't they? You'd expect them to. But again, whatever the code is, I'll probably look into it. Arsenal bottle it? I don't think so. I think Arsenal win the league. They have the war, coronavirus, and Queen. And Man City have coronavirus massively, the Queen, but they don't have the war thing. The thing that separates Arsenal to Man City as of now is the war theme. And I wasn't decoding the war before the Premier League season began, like heavily as I am now with every code. Guys, I had Cremonese to go 1-9-14 to beat Roma because World War I began in 1914. It began 28-7, and the Cremonese player that opened the scoring was born on 28-7. I wouldn't have made those connections earlier in the season. But I see the war stuff. When I was coding the NFL, I was seeing all the war themes. Chiefs versus Eagles, that was basically Russia against the US. It looks like Russia are going to defeat the US. I've told you the US is going to get destroyed. Babylon. Russia's a godless nation. So it makes sense for them to... China's pretty much a godless nation. They believe in AI. They worship AI. Arsene Wenger will be proud. Who works for the World Economic Forum, that guy. More live streams about major events happening and less about football. The football connects to major events, my friend. That's what you're not getting. I do what I do because these games, more than anything, show you where the world's going, that connect to biblical scripture, that tell you a war's around the corner. I'm not bothered about talking about football in the sense of who do you reckon's winning, Edders? Oh, that's a good signing, isn't it, for Chelsea? Yeah, I ain't talking about that nonsense. Like these people who have FPL YouTube sites with hundreds of thousands of subs. I could out-talk any of them. And the reason they have so many subs is because they're distracting the world. And I'm waking people up. Well, I think you should get this player, Saka, in your team. But you're going to have to get rid of him. Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? Who gives a shit about fantasy? It's fantasy. The whole Premier League's one fantasy. The whole world is at this point, unless you find God. Newcastle beer. I don't particularly like it. Nuki Brown. Interesting logo. I'll give them that. Nice dick. Oh, sorry. Did I just say nice dick? Nice Dirk. It's funny. I just said nice dick. That's hilarious. Nice Dirk. Been awake since 2020. Nice dick. Oh, my goodness. So, Grimsby just knocked out the Saints at St. Mary's. Grimsby Town were founded 144 years ago. Queen Elizabeth, her middle name was Mary, like St. Mary's. And the Elizabeth line on the tube was opened on the 144th day of the year. That's why Grimsby just won at St. Mary's, connected to the Queen. And the 144, the 144,000 that are sealed. I was born on 14/4 on my dad's 31st birthday. Today's 3/1. Wow. So, yeah. Wild. Life is a fantasy. Can you live that fantasy life? I think it's only a fantasy until you find God, Lady Hawk, and the divine spirit within you. Then it becomes very real. The system, society, the matrix, your ego, all that stuff. It's fantasy. Saka, by the way, scored 26 weeks and 6 days before his birthday, 266. Pope Francis, the 266th Pope. World War I began 1914. 19 times 14 is 266. So doesn't it make sense for World War III to begin whilst we have the 266th Pope? When the First World War began 1914, 19 times 14, 266. Kobe LeBron drafted 26-6. Wow. Wow. Pope Francis, the 266th Pope, who visited the White House on the 266th day of the year. Why? It is the magic of the FA Cup, isn't it? Flinny, can I play your audios to finish this? The Vatican is a big snake. Francis gives his little speeches between the eyes of the serpent and Vatican. Blatant for everybody to see. Demons all over Vatican City. People won't accept it. Catholicism, Satanism. Francis is a false prophet who works for the devil. And that's why lightning struck Basilica twice right before Francis became the Pope. Adam feels sorry for parents here in England who believe their kids will be footballers. I do as well. Again, you should have seen my level at Bradford City and now, but let's go back to the past. My mate Craig Saff messaged me out of nowhere. He called me, actually. Much love to you, Saff. I don't think he watches my stuff. He just heard I have a YouTube channel. He just, out of nowhere, not spoken to him for about 10 years. Adam. He's one of the few people that calls me Adam instead of Edders or Ads. Adam, how did you not become a professional footballer? It doesn't make any sense still. I was like, mate, that was like 20 odd years ago. It's like, it don't make sense to me. There was no one like you. Nobody could play like you. Why? I was like, they told me I was too small. What? I was like, yeah, that's what they told me. Right after I scored 2 goals, they got rid of me. So, yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of it. It's very easy for society to say you're just making excuses. You're jealous of these people. I know my level. I knew my level back then. Everyone who's played with me knew my level, knows my level. I didn't make it, and thank God I didn't. So I wouldn't be doing this right now, would I? Calling it all out better than practically anyone in the world calling out the Premier League right now. The biggest league in the world, I'm calling it out. I've got a book about the World Cup. I called it out from the first game to the last game. That's much better than running around the field and these coded rituals. So, Flinny, I'm going to play his audios. He might not like it, but they're so funny. So, Flinny is he basically mocks commentators and football fans with his commentary. I'm going to do it, Flinny. I don't think you'll... He just sent me a... All right, this is the last message he sent me. The talented Eddie Nketiah produced a Quicksilver cameo from the bench to put the gloss on an emphatic champagne cork popping display of championship winning football from Arsenal. It's so funny what he puts. What else has he put? When Walcott scored and it got disallowed, Walcott drawing on his Premier League experience to draw the Saints level in a wonderful advert for the FA Cup, the greatest competition in the world. It's just so funny. What else did he say? They are really showing that they mean business in their quest for Premier League glory in regards to Arsenal. This will not only be a wonderful advert for the Premier League, but for the world. I'm gonna play some of them. Especially when you play away to Yeovil Town in January in blustery wind and bloody stopping pitch, sloping. All right, here we go. Let's see what he's got. I don't know how far back I have to go. I think it's all the ones where... That's not that one.
Oh, yeah, I'm on.
Where are they? Here we go.
I mean, well, I have to disagree 1,000% of what you just said there, because I firmly believe that Guardiola will allow Mikel Arteta the opportunity to bask in the glory of the apprentice finally becoming the master. Yeah, you don't understand you don't appreciate the fact Arsenal have got this heady cocktail, this irresistible blend of youth and experience, which is carrying them in this forward trajectory towards Premier League glory. And I think you need to recognise this. You know, it's not just down to the tutelage of tutelage. Well, that's a nice word, that is, isn't it? It's not just due to the tutelage of Mikel Arteta. Yeah, I'll look at a minute. I'm I'm driving, but yeah, just touching on something. I mean, like, Arteta, he's done wonders with that, with what he's had to work with. I mean, he's really had to cut his cloth accordingly, isn't he? And he's done it on a shoestring budget. And I think what he's done with Gabriel in defence is quite remarkable. He really is. He really has. He's turned him into such a cultured centre back, and he's a real defensive linchpin. He's the bedrock of that team, and he's very comfortable coming out with a ball and being the launch pad of Arsenal's forays forward. Yeah, it's quite exceptional what he's done there. And there are Sousas now who are with their admiring eyes glancing in the direction of Arteta. What's his name again? Of Gabriel in defence. The likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid. They're talking upwards of like 500 million for him. I mean, he'll be a snip if they get if they're able to acquire his services. Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, kudos to Saka. I mean, he deserves to receive plaudits aplenty. And yeah, he has got a magic wand of a left boot, and an absolute blistering shot on him as well. I mean, he's really showing his pedigree. Not only is he dynamic, but he's a real midfield enforcer, a real competitor who likes to put a shift in. A la Brian Robson or Steve McMahon, like a real throwback to an 80s footballer. And, oh God, keep a clear mind when waxing lyrical about these awful football.
Oh, just funny. It's just, you hear the commentators and the fans just repeating the same dialogue season after season after season. That Xhaka went from being hated by Arsenal fans to the greatest midfielder in the world. By the way, Arsenal's captain is Odegaard, who was born on the Pope's birthday. That's why he's the captain. All right, because he was born on 12/17. Odegaard. It made no sense for him to be captain. Arsenal's arguably best player, Gabriel Jesus, out most of the season. Well, we've got Nketiah, who was on loan at Leeds not long ago. Of course we're going to win the league. Look at the squad, guys. Bang average. Let's be honest. Yeah, Gary Neville does talk like he's a genius. People think he is. Gary's so smart. All right, he wasn't the greatest footballer, but he had a footballer's brain, didn't he? Just like Teddy Sheringham. Could barely run, but my word. He may have lacked speed, but when it came to that brain, my goodness me, what a player Gary Neville was. No, he wasn't. He was shit. Just like his sister, Philippa. Dog shit. Just like most of Arsenal's squad isn't great. What about Zinchenko assisting the opening goal in a war theme? Didn't Russia just invade the Ukraine? Zinchenko recently got the captain's armband on the anniversary of Russia invading the Ukraine. Why? If football's not about politics, which I've been saying it is for ages, people say, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. Why would Zinchenko get the captain's armband, which is, of course, a rainbow flag? Can't talk about that, can I, YouTube? But it is. It's a rainbow flag. We know why. Gets the captain's armband. You know what football fans will say? A lot of respect for Zinchenko, what he's doing. A lot of respect for him. For what? For playing football? And you've got Zinchenko, who won titles with Guardiola at Man City. And now Man City are struggling for a left back. So they've played like Bernardo Silva there. I don't think Pep should have got rid of Zinchenko. Oh, that's a nice little storyline, isn't it, Bebe? That's a nice storyline. Oh, let's have Gabriel Jesus leave Man City to get replaced by Haaland. The beast replace Jesus. And let's have maybe Jesus win the title with Arsenal over Man City. The team that got rid of him. After everything Jesus did for Manchester City? You're going to treat him that way? If it wasn't for Gabriel Jesus, Pep, you wouldn't be the only coach to ever get to 100 points in the Premier League. Because I'll never forget that goal from Gabriel Jesus against Southampton in the last game of the season where we got to 100 points to become Centurions. And how dare you? You get rid. Okay, yes, Haaland is a great footballer. Yes, he scores goals. I agree. It was a great signing. But Pep, the way you treated Gabriel Jesus, it's not on. And if you know what, Pep? Do you know what, Pep? If Arsenal go on and win that league with Gabriel, you're going to regret it and you're going to deserve it. Do you know what? What? No, it's just coded. It's biblical. Whoever wins the league, it's biblical scripture telling us where the world's going. It's nothing to do with a player leaving or this player getting injured or this coach suddenly becoming a genius. Is it? What about Potter? Potter, what a coach at Brighton. Amazing. Next England coach. He could win the league with Chelsea. Oh my goodness. Now Potter can't coach. Struggles with a big club. Don't know what he's doing. Really? He just forgot how to coach. You can't coach now? Over 6 months? Fickle football fans. FFF 666. French Football Federation. FFF won their first World Cup in 1998. 3 times 666 is 1,998. Woo! So Zidane, Zizou, Zinedine, with your female gate, you won that World Cup because it was coded for you to win it. Simple as that. Just like it was coded for you to headbutt someone. Just like it was coded. All right, let's do this. Let's do this, all right? Just before I leave. Okay? And YouTube, any chance, why are you not letting me get to 10,000 subs? What's your issue with that? Guys, share my work, retweet my work, see if my numbers go up. See if I get to that 10,000. Maybe they're waiting for that 10 to hammer me. So, what was I going to say then? Jeez. Oh, I was about to say something. Oh, yeah. Zinedine Zidane. You bald pillock. All right, you go to Real Madrid and never coached, but you win 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Yeah, Beckham can't dribble. Had no speed. He could whip a ball like any half-decent footballer can. Beckham was the most overrated player to ever play the game. To be honest with you. Like, what did he do? He passed backwards to Gary Neville, took a few decent free kicks and corners. All right, Beckham was not an amazing, sensational footballer, yet he captained England. Just like Harry Kane's dog shit, and he's captaining England. What does Harry Kane do other than score? Shit footballer. Yeah, he is. He's a shit footballer. Zidane in that World Cup final against Italy where he headbutted Materazzi. Supposedly Materazzi said that his sister was a whore. All right. Zidane scored a penalty. He opened the scoring, didn't he? He dinked it down the middle. It went off the crossbar and over the line. Do you recall that? Yes, you do, if you're a football fan. So you're telling me that in rehearsal, weeks building up to it, Zidane was working on a penalty to dink it down the middle, off the underside of the bar, just over the line. I'll wait. I'll wait for your responses for any doubters out there. Was that rehearsed? Was Gareth Bale's 30-yard bicycle kick in the top corner against Liverpool, 2018 Champions League final rehearsed? Beckham's strike from in his own half against Wimbledon? Did him and Sullivan work on it behind closed doors? Neil Sullivan, make sure you're about, 12, 15 yards off your line. And remember, I've got to score at this time as well. I've got to ping it perfectly over your head. You think that was predetermined and pre-planned in training, like people tell me? Really? So again, Zidane, did they rehearse that penalty? Did Jeff Hurst rehearse striking it off the underside of the crossbar? Is it over the line or not? Was that rehearsed in training? Are they that good? Are they that good to do that? No. So if they're not doing it, who's doing it? Who's behind it? It's either black magic or it's supernatural in regards to God. And I'm putting my faith in God because it connects to biblical scripture. And again, for all the people saying man wrote the Bible and man's fulfilling all of this. Okay, you think it's all man. What happens when you die? And did man invent the universe? If it's just man behind everything. Did man come up with the universe? Things become a lot clearer when you find the Lord Jesus Christ. That's why I can see with such clarity. That's why I'm not overly emotional. That's why I don't get upset. All right? Whatever's kicking off in the world, it doesn't faze me. It don't faze me. I don't watch these sports games. I don't get bet on them. But I expose the code. Listen to Eminem Demon Inside. Okay, that's something I'd be interested in. And listen to Adam Pett wears t-shirt and joggers. I know. Because he's the cool coach, isn't he? There'll be some ritual behind that, honestly. To be honest with you. To be honest with you, I'll say this. I'm going to stick up for Pep. Christian Atsu, yeah, I've discussed him. He played with Lukaku at Chelsea. And he also played with him at another club. And then Lukaku got that winning goal for Inter Milan in the Champions League 4 days after Atsu died. And Inter got their 4th Champions League win and kept Porto on 4 wins. Where else did Lukaku play with Atsu? Chelsea, and there was another club. Definitely 2 clubs where they played together. Everton. There you go, Johnny. And then he did this whole thing, Lukaku, right after Atsu's death, saying this testimonial about him. And then right after he scored the winning goal, Lukaku, when he's not been scoring goals. Lukaku, another god-awful footballer. But you're going to tell me about his record. Goal-scoring record. Awful footballer when you watch him. So, geez, I was going to say something else, again, very profound. And now I forgot. So it couldn't have been that profound, could it? Yeah, the 1999 Champions League final, the Red Devils won the treble, 999, flip it upside down, 666. That's the year Beckham married Victoria Adams, a.k.a. Posh Spice, a.k.a. Where's Your Hips, a.k.a. Never Given Birth, a.k.a. Big Ass Jawline, a.k.a. No Ass, a.k.a. Fake Little Titties. Woo. That's who David Beckham. We call Beckham Bex. Bex, Becky. Go on my Instagram, look at the image I have of Beckham and his female hips. Because there's only 2 skeletons. There's 2 skeletons. Learn the difference between the 2 and you will see through the illusion of these Hollywood stars. Study the skeleton. That's it. Favourite footballer's Rooney. I never rated him that much, to be honest. I watched him quite a lot at Old Trafford. He got a lot of great goals, amazing goal scoring record. Watch him over 90 minutes. Gave the ball away a lot. Very temperamental. I can see why you liked him. They weren't my cup of tea. I preferred Giggs, Scholes over Rooney when I watched Man United. I really like Michael Carrick as well when I used to watch United. I thought he was just, I'd love to play with him. That guy can find a pass, so he could. And I would have loved to play with somebody like Carrick when I was into it all. Yeah, going back to Guardiola, I'm not going to call him out for his coaching gear because that's what you should be wearing for me. I think it's more ridiculous than turning up in a suit like they're about to get married. You see these coaches turning up in the suits and polishing the shoes and then getting spanked 5-0 by a guy in a tracksuit. They look like Muppets. All right, I think all coaches should be wearing coaching gear like I do. All right, do you want me to turn up to a private next week or tomorrow? I've got a private tomorrow, so I wear a suit. No, nothing wrong with what Guardiola wears. He gets a lot of shit for it, but I would give more shit to those in a suit. Pretty comical, man. Are you going to a funeral? You know what I mean? Spice Boys, baby, exactly. Lukaku's first touch is shocking, horrific. Harry Maguire is a baller. The guy who, when he was younger, he said the first team he ever played on was a girls' team. So there wasn't enough boys who wanted to play. Really, Harriet? Is that what you're going to say? My Instagram, in the description box. I'm not even going to tell you. So when this live's over in the next 5 minutes, go to the description box. It has all my links, every link that you want. It has my Instagram one. And you'll see that David Beckham image. Brighton versus Grimsby. Again, fixed. The Brighton-Grimsby games already determined who wins. Not by man, by a code. So I'll try and figure out who that is. You'd expect Brighton. They have a great riddle to get to the FA Cup final. And I can't see Grimsby getting to Wembley. So, but Brighton, what they're going to be? Minus 800. They'll probably spank them. Brighton is very close to Southampton as well, isn't it? Location-wise. Very close. Bournemouth's a lot closer, though, to Southampton. And they're both bottom of the table. I told you the Saints would get relegated before the season began. The Saints, whilst the beast is reigning. And they're done, aren't they? They're pretty much down. Well, no, they're not. Because there could be a miracle. And we all love a miracle. We all love a miracle, don't we, guys? 40 years since 83 Cup final versus Man U. Yeah, Mr. Flynn thinks it's Man United Brighton. Chuck thinks Man United win the FA Cup. I don't know at this point. Chuck's code was exceptional. Red theme. Wait, Man United the only team left in it that wear red. It's probably going to be them again. And anytime Man United win a trophy, nobody's shocked. They won't question it. I told you, Man United could get to the Europa League final as well. Probably play Juventus. And what is the main thing that they do in football, aka soccer? The kick or 11-9-3-11. Very interesting. AKA. That's 1-1-1-1, isn't it? AKA is 1-1-1-1. Remembrance Day is 11-11. So also known as AKA. A is the first letter, K is the 11th, A is the first. That's 1-1-1-1. Alex Ferguson always wore a suit like a businessman, yeah. Remember when Wenger, there was definitely some ritual with this. Cheers, 6079 Smith. God bless you. Good night. I wouldn't say that. It's 16. My computer's about to die. It's on, oh my word, 6%. There was some ritual with Arsene Wenger. He couldn't fasten his zip, and he wore these ridiculous coats, and he couldn't do his zip. So it's like, that's why I'm saying there's some ritual to all of this. Like, why can't a guy who supposedly they said is the most intelligent coach ever, Arsene Wenger? Hey, my name's Arsene Wenger. Well, I don't know what that accent was. Let me try and get in my Wenger. I know Mr. Flynn does a great one. Let me try and get my Arsene Wenger. I've got to... okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I'm not feeling it. We have Thierry Henry, Sylvain Multard, Patrick Vieira, some excellent, wonderful footballers. And Thierry is a special talent. That was terrible. I apologize. But Arsene Wenger, he couldn't do his zip. And they always conveniently had a cameraman watching him do it. Whatever stage of the game it was, there was a cameraman like checking to see if he was doing his zip. Most intelligent coach. Yeah, Fergie, by the way, won 13 trophies, 13 Premier League titles with Man United, which is the number connected to Satan if you read my World Cup book. Are you a Mason? No. Didn't know about the Freemasons till 2021, maybe mid-2020. Didn't know the Freemasons, didn't know the Jesuits, didn't know the Society of Jesus, didn't know who the Pope was, didn't know shit about the Vatican, didn't care. So, no, I'm not a Mason, mate. And if you're ever going to ask a Mason if they're a Mason, they ain't going to tell you, mate. It's a secret society. They're not going to come out and say, yeah, mate, I'm a Mason and I'm this degree. That's not how it works. So even by asking me, I'm not one, but if I was one, I'd of course say, that's none of your business. And then it's neither yes or no. And then you just say, well, he must be a Mason because he wouldn't accept that. He wouldn't answer the question properly. Are you a Mason? Are you a Jesuit? Are you a Jesuit Mason Satanist? I've had it all, ladies and gentlemen. Like, again, doing what I'm doing. If I was an ex-footballer and I was exposing this, like I'm talking high level, like I was in the Premier League, you saw me on Match of the Day playing for England, and out of nowhere my career ended and I became this illusion character and I'm doing this, and this with sports. You'd have every right to call me out. But I'm an exceptional footballer who didn't make it and nobody could understand. It makes more sense that I'm not a Mason or in the club. So it's definitely a backhanded compliment when people say to me, you're too smart, you have too much knowledge to not be part of a society. Isn't that a backhanded compliment, isn't it? I acquired this knowledge through the Holy Spirit, through hard work, through dedication, through interacting with people, through giving up so much and being naturally intelligent. Nobody gave me it. Nobody put it on a plate. I didn't sign up to a society. All right. I didn't sell my soul so I could code the reality and then not gamble on it anymore. Why would I do that? I'm one of the real ones, guys. There ain't many of us, especially online, on YouTube, on your Facebooks, your Instagrams, whatever other platform you have. There ain't many like me who are genuine, who are giving you this level of knowledge every day. So if you think I'm a Mason, think it. But it has no substance. Do a Mourinho accent. Say Muppet. By you saying say Muppet is implying I'm a Muppet. You think I'm just going to do as you ask? Do Mourinho impressions. Say Muppet. I ain't a performing chimp. Woo! Mourinho? Well, I am the special one. No, you're not, mate. Probably can't even coach. Again, he earned his badges with Bobby Robson, massive Satanist. I've coded him at Barcelona. Mourinho, one of the few coaches that couldn't play football. Unlike like Guardiola could play highest level. There's a load of them. Zidane. They're saying Ronaldo's going to be an amazing coach. Why? It's too emotional, Ronaldo, I think. But again, it doesn't matter. It's not about the talent of these players when it comes to coaching, playing, or anything. I suppose United can win the FA Cup. Yeah, United right now for me. But I ain't going to claim it. 2 of the last 3 seasons, I got the winners of the FA Cup before the season began. I thought Tottenham were going to do well. I thought they could win it. They're done. So, yeah, the red theme is taking over right now, just like blue and yellow. If somebody could give you like the main themes at the beginning of these tournaments, say, all right, it's going to be a red theme. My word, it'll make your life so much easier. You know what I mean? Pep always has a shocker. He doesn't have a shocker in the Champions League. He goes very far and then gets knocked out. It's not like he doesn't have a shocker. His actual Champions League record with Man City is fantastic. He just doesn't win those big games. Look last year with Real Madrid. What happened in that game was magic, how Man City got knocked out. They said it was magic in Madrid. He's not having a shocker in the Champions League at all. He nearly wins every game. But they get to the latter stages and they find a way of going out. It's either controversy or missed chance. Often when City lose, they miss a ton of chances. They justify that. Or the goalkeeper has a great game. But no, he's not been shocking in the Champions League. He's just never won it with them. What would be shocking is if they were going out in the group stage. No, they go far. They lost in the final recently. They got knocked out in the semi-final. Like, it's not having a shocker. They could easily win it. But again, will they have a blue team win it? I don't think so. I've got to go because I'm on 3%. Cheers to new people who signed up, who's going to give my website a chance this month. I appreciate you. You're going to learn a ton. Ain't another website you're going to learn as much as you learn from mine for the amount that I charge. Ain't another one out there. So I appreciate you. I hope to be in England in a month if nothing wild goes off in March, because a lot of numbers are syncing up with something wild happening, but that doesn't mean something wild is going to happen. All right? But March is wild. When the Georgia Guidestones were erected, it's the 3rd month. There's all sorts of stuff that have gone on in March in previous years. But you'll say you could do that about every month. But coronavirus declared a global pandemic, 3/11. So let's see what happens on the 3-year anniversary of that. That's approaching, isn't it? That's approaching. Wow, that's in 10 days. Pope Francis became the Pope 2013. So the anniversary of him becoming the Pope, my word, that's in 12 days, the 10-year anniversary. Jeez, this is going to be interesting. I ain't booking any flight until this month's done. What are your thoughts on Mexican League? Average, probably slightly higher than the MLS, the Mexican League. Average, faster paced, more technical than that. Don't come anywhere close to European leagues. Some decent talent, but it ain't great. I went to watch Chivas, and it was 0-0 against Tigres, 2 of the best teams in Mexico. Very bang average level. I felt I could have been on the field very easily. Even my kids said that because I was coaching them in a tournament in Guadalajara. Said, "You're as good as these, Mr. Adam or Coach Adam." I was like, "I know I am, but doesn't matter, does it?" I'm off. Gotta go. I get Sensei. Everything's God. Everything's God. So if you want to call the championship satanic, it's all God. Everything goes back to God. Go on my Twitter, read my tweets. Everything ultimately begins with God and ends with God. All right? God invented Satan. So is it satanic? Yeah, but it's also biblical. Just see it as biblical. Maybe I'll take out the term satanic. It's biblical. Satan's a part of the Bible. It's biblical. Everything that's playing out right now is biblical. That's all I'll say. I'll try and take out the term satanic because it's given too much respect and too much energy to Satan, who's already lost. So it's biblical. Championship's biblical. Everything is. Everything is. All right? God bless you all. I'm off. I'm going for a swim. Take care, guys. Yeah, I know the Mexican League's coded. I coded who'd win the championship last year. All right? Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, the Ides of March as well. You've got 3:16, John 3:16 as well. Coming up in March. All right. Bye, guys.